What's up guys, Kukage with another PlayStation 4 video. This one's going to be new. This one's going to be about 5 tips on how to win Apex Legends. Man, this is a new game, just came out. I love it. It's pretty kick-ass. Check out the video. Okay, let's jump right into this. Tip number 1, know your character. And it's pretty basic, but a lot of people don't do it. You know, find a character that you really like, that complements your play style. For instance, Bloodhound, he's one of my favorite characters because I like the fact that every single ability he has, I could utilize all the time. For instance, if I drop an airstrike, like with the other people, I might miss completely every single time I drop an airstrike. But with Bloodhound, there's no real way to miss with any of his abilities. You know, his passive allows me to see footprints, blood trails. You know, I can't miss when I use it. It always works. It always helps me. You know, I can press L1 to do my second ability, which allows me to see where the enemy is within a short range, about 20 feet in a perimeter around me. So, you know, I'm an aggressive player. I like to play super aggressively, kind of independent, but I want to work with my team. So I like to use Bloodhound because when I feel like our enemies are backstepping or pedaling back, they feel like they're going to get defeated. Instead of just allowing them a chance to heal up, I can use Bloodhound and track them, find out exactly where they are. And when I'm with a team that has faith in me and understands what I'm trying to do, they understand my play style, which I'll get into in another tip, they'll rush with me and have confidence that we're going to do the right thing. So it's really important to find a character that you really love, learn everything about them, and one that complements your playstyle. For instance, if you like to be the guy with the shields and all that, you might not want to be as aggressive. You know, you might want to put your shield down, be defensive, allow them to come into you, and so you can drop your artilleries on them, you know. Or put a shield down and take a specific location, you know. But for instance, if you're going to be Bloodhound, I think it's more important to be aggressive. So I think Bloodhound is a character that people like me that have an aggressive playstyle can really utilize to their best advantage. Now for this in particular video, I'm going to be talking a lot about my personal playstyle, which is aggressive, and Bloodhound seems to fit it pretty well. But in videos later on, I'll talk about each different character and how you can alter your playstyles to fit in with that in later videos.
Leaving, guys. Take a zip. This way.
The armor.
Oh, we got guys here. Guys right there, where I marked. I literally have only 20 heavy rounds for a main gun. So.
How high up are they? Pretty high?
Not too high, actually. Just right there, mid-level. Right where those loot stashes are.
Tip number 2, pick 2 guns that complement your playstyle. So it's obvious you want to use every gun in the game to figure out how they work, how each gun is nuanced, how it's different. Some have select fire, some you have to have an attachment in order to have select fire. Some are long range, some are close range, some do more damage, whatnot. Some have faster fire rates. So for instance, with this character and with my playstyle, I picked something kind of like the flatline and the alternator is what I picked in this particular video. And the reason for that is because the flatline has a fully automatic mode and a one-shot burst mode, right? So if I have to lay down a lot of heavy fire, I can go fully automatic. If I have to snipe from far range, I can pick them apart with the single shot option. Well, I chose the alternator because, once again, my super aggressive style with Bloodhound, in close quarters, I need to have a gun that shoots extremely fast, does a lot of damage, but can reload quick. So, you know, the alternator is a good option. The Peacekeeper is a good option for that secondary slot.
What do you need?
If I was going to have another gun instead of the flatline, I'd probably choose the R301.
Here, I got some right here on me.
The reason why I didn't choose that in this particular video is the R301, the only weakness it really has is its long-range capabilities.
They're coming in.
So if sometimes I choose the R301 over the flatline because my super aggressive style, I think it's a little bit better at close range, but the flatline does a little more damage all in all. So another good option would be R301 and the Peacekeeper, maybe the Spitfire and the Peacekeeper, or the Spitfire and the Alternator. You could use the other submachine guns. I prefer the Alternator over the other ones. So one thing I wouldn't use with this playstyle, with this character, I probably wouldn't use the Hemlock and a Sniper, because the Hemlock, even though I love that gun, it's a very good gun all the way around. It just doesn't shoot fast enough for my super aggressive playstyle that I'm using in this video. And you know, obviously having like a sniper wouldn't really help me out that much either, because my other friends, my teammates, they had snipers, they had long range. So we're trying to complement each other, and that will also go with my next tip.
Get the hell out of here.
Tip number 3: play to the strengths and weaknesses of your
Oh,
teammates.
guys on me.
Now,
ooh, good shit.
this could seem quite simple, but it's not. It's really kind of like, okay,
So give me.
my friends, who do they like to play? And do they like to play aggressively? You know, some people, like, they always play aggressive no matter who they're playing. They might even be a defensive guy or a medic. You know, and they're just playing aggressively all the time. That's not necessarily the smartest option, you know. Sometimes that works, but sometimes it doesn't. It's all about team composition. And so what I'm dealing with here is my friend, one of them's Bangalore, and the other one is Caustic. So, you know, Bangalore, sorry, I'm saying their names wrong. Bangalore is a super aggressive fighter, right? But Caustic's more of like a trapper. You know, he wants you to come to him, and then he messes you up that way, you know? So it's important to know what you're dealing with, okay? So Bangalore, you know, is this super aggressive playstyle that excels in taking out large groups of enemies, right? So then I didn't think I needed to be, you know, I didn't need to be the other character that takes out large groups of, you know, enemies either. And I didn't really need to be a trap guy. So we're all trying to play to each other's strengths and weaknesses. Now what would that look like in game? Well, what it would do is we all would shoot and fight together, right? While the Caustic guy puts down traps and sets it up so if we have to flee, right? So if anything bad happens to us, we could flee back, and they'll run into the Caustic's traps, while Bangalore will drop massive artillery strikes on them, and I can flank and move and reposition because of how fast I am, which will go into my final tip later, which is overlapping fields of fire, which is real military strategy they use in real life. Well, it happens to be highly effective with games that are similar to real life. And for instance, battle royales, first-person shooters, you could actually utilize real-life tactics in these kind of games.
Where you at?
Where they at?
Think I can make my gas over there? Yeah, where they at? Oh, this is perfect for me.
Yeah, right here, bro. Right here, behind that rock.
Tip number 4: communicate to your teammates with pinging R1. Man, this is one of the coolest things they added to this game. You literally don't even need a mic to communicate on the fly with this game. All you gotta do is point and click R1, and it will ping and communicate. More than half of the things you would need to communicate in this game will do it automatically just by tapping R1. And you know, it's like you see an enemy, and what's the first thing you want to do? You want to shoot him in the face with a sniper. Is that right or is that wrong? It's wrong. Because you're shooting an entire team and giving away your position, giving away the element of surprise to try to just get one bullet in the guy. And the odds are in this game, you're not going to kill him with one bullet. So instead of pressing R2 like a dumbass, just press R1 first. That's all it is. And then you ping the guy and you show exactly where the enemy's location is to your teammate, which is so important.
Keep putting up pressure.
I keep telling people that we play all these battle royales. For instance, Call of Duty Blackout. is a game
They
where
ran
playing
away.
as a team is
Let's see
super
blood cells.
important. But nobody wants to
They ran
do
pretty
it.
far.
And they wonder why they keep dying. Well, this game, it's even more important to
Right here,
play
yeah,
as
yeah.
a team. And that's why I'm so impressed that they made a ping system with R1. It's so important. I can't say more about it. If you hold down the button, there's a radial menu which allows you to select between like 8 different options. Use it all the time. Press R1 before you press R2, guys. Please just do it. It will help your team out so much. Just do it.
Okay, he's right there. Okay.
There it is. We got another team.
And last
phone,
but
so
not
we gotta grab
least,
two.
tip
Go.
number
Grab
5,
ammo.
overlapping fields of fire. It is the #1 strategy that real life squads and teams in the military armed forces use to dominate and eliminate their opponents and the enemies of their country or whatever. You know, it's just, I'm really, since I was a kid, I was into G.I. Joes, I was a Boy Scout. You know, a lot of my family members were in the military. I grew up hunting and fishing. I just love reading books about the military and squads, Navy SEALs. So it's just, you know, things like focus fire, overlapping fields of fire. These things can really help you in a squad situation, right? So what is overlapping fields of fire? It just means when you see your enemy, you're shooting them in one direction, right? So it's a direction that they got to take cover from, right? In order not to get hit. And so if you're shooting in one direction and they can hide behind cover to avoid being hit, right? Well, if someone or a buddy can hit them from a different angle, so you cannot hit them from the angle because they're hiding behind cover, but your friend can hit them from a separate angle. That's overlapping fields of fire. So if you drew a pie or a cone, reverse cone out from where you are to the area that you can hit, that's called your cone or field of fire, field of vision, right? Well, you want to have multiple fields of fire, and so flanking is real important. The basic idea is you don't want to stand right next to your friends all the time. You want to spread out, you want to hit them at multiple directions. And really, because this game has absolutely no friendly fire, you could even hit them from 2 totally different directions and not worry about getting hurt. The basic idea of overlapping fields of fire is no matter where they hide, no matter what cover they hide behind, they're going to get hit by one of your teammates. So what you want to do is look at the battlefield and try to think of it more like a game of chess. And think, where can I set up my figures or my characters and me and my friends to where we can hit all the kill zones, all the lines of fire or fields of fire. And so basically they have nowhere to hide because they're going to get hit from every direction is what it means.
Down low. Yeah! Let's do this shit.
Hey, thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe. Check me out on Twitch at Kukage1. I'm also on Twitter at Kukage2. Hey, I appreciate your time, guys.
You are the Apex champions.
You are the Apex Vatos.